Moment of silence.
And then he just walks down and goes.
Hello.
What did you do?
Family.
How did you do that?
Yes. Before I utter a single word, if you're moving, I need you to stop. If you're walking, stop. If you're on your phone, put it down. Everybody. I would like you to join me in closing our eyes and saying a word to our Creator who has made this day possible. Please close your eyes. Father God, we thank you for moments. Moments that change our lives, moments that pivot our journeys. Father God, this is your moment, and we gather here only by your grace and your glory. We ask, Father God, that you bring into this gathering wisdom. The wisdom that of the ages we can see the world as it is, not as we wish for it to be. We ask, Father God, that you give us vision. But most importantly, we ask that you give us courage. That where we need to walk, we walk because you know you will lead us. This is your moment, Father God. We thank you for the opportunity to gather, to be here, to meet as family. We ask that you bless this occasion and that you use our mouths to speak your truth. 16 years I've been in this business, and I've never had the honor of an audience like this. So before I get started, I want to say thank you. Or as you heard earlier today,
I don't know.
Gents, you better hold on to your ladies because I'm dangerous. Dangerous. I'm looking for an excuse to come back to Zambia. I might take a wife, you never know. So here we are. Gathered at last. This moment has been building up for a long time. But we're here, all of us, in this moment to take it all in. Before I start, I have to make a confession and then a disclaimer. Here is my confession. I confess that like every single one of us in this stadium today, I too am figuring this out as I go. That's an important confession because we live in a world today where you have to have it figured out all the time. You must know exactly what the answer is, even when the question hasn't been asked yet. And then my disclaimer. And my disclaimer is simply this. I promise you that I will say something that you do not like. I am not here to say things that you like. First, remember this. Try to be wrong.
Try to be wrong.
Try to be wrong. You know, when they write the books of history and they talk about successful people, the way those books are written, the way the stories are told, is that the successful people were right all the time. I've spent enough time with successful people, and if there's one thing I know for sure, it is this: it's that they spend their time looking to be wrong, looking for the mistakes, because the magic exists in the space of the mistakes. Especially to those of us in this room who run our own businesses, the first thing I want you to do when you go into your business tomorrow is I want you to find the places where you can try to be wrong. The reason that is because if you are right all the time, you are doing nothing new. So remember this: try to be wrong. Try to be wrong. Find the places and spaces, the opportunities where you can do something that's wrong. It sounds like a far-flung idea, so let's test this a little bit. Let's test this theory of being wrong a little bit. So, those of you who follow me on social media know that I love cars. I'm a big car guy. And to be more specific, I don't love cars. I love V12 engines. See, it's not really the car or the body, that's what I'm interested in. It's the build of the engine, it's the architecture, it's the engineering, it's the feat that goes into constructing it. When most people hear the car, they hear it. I really hear it. This is why I can tell which V12 engine I'm listening to just by hearing it. I'll tell you the year, the model, I'll tell you the manufacturer even, just by hearing it. I can tell you about the searing sound of a Lamborghini V12, that high screeching. I can tell you exactly what a Ferrari V12 sounds like. It's got a more higher buzz, it's got a... I can tell you exactly what a Mercedes V12 sounds like. And if you push it fast enough, you're the... Or as I call that when you're a single man, that's a... Okay, my panties are coming off now. Hey! Why am I telling you this? Because whereas for most people, hearing the car is just hearing the car. For the manufacturers of those cars, they are so obsessive over what the car sounds like, they spend time making the sound. The thing that to you is completely inanimate is just the way the car sounds. They spend time making that sound. Having spent time with some of them, traveled to Maranello, went to the Ferrari factory, visited Ferrari World, I was astonished to find out that they find the sound by making mistakes. They try to be wrong. They manufacture a sound and then it doesn't sound right, or the customers don't like it. They put it into testing groups and then the customers go, no, not this one. We don't like the sound. And they do another one, and then another one, and then another one. So the process to perfection comes first by trying to be wrong. Try and be wrong. The things where you're going to try and experiment to look for new ways to do it. You want a bakery? Change the formulation. You want a services business, a restaurant? Change the number of waiters. Change your menu. You want a shoe store business? Change your merchandising. Change your pricing. Change something. Trying to be wrong is the process to perfection. It's not the enemy of perfection. Try to be wrong. Try to be wrong. So write those 3 things down. The 3 things you're going to do this week where you're going to try and be wrong. When I was preparing for this on my flight over from Dubai, I was thinking about what I could leave you here with today. And what I want to do is to leave you with things you can implement and try right now in your life and in your business at this exact moment. So try to be wrong. The second thing, Are we still learning? We still listening? And here's the second thing. You will only go as high, don't write that down. You will only go as high as the thing I want you to write down now. As your T-E-A-M. Team. 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 You know, the challenge with us is that you are talented. You're good at what you do. But you can't scale it, you can't grow it because you don't have the right team around you. You don't have the right people around you. You're not surrounding yourself with the right people, the resources, the skills, the talents. You've got to get the right team. And the thing about teams is this. The team that it takes to get you to one point changes when you want to go to a different point. And so one of two things happens. Either you change the people or you change the people. N-E-Y. Money. Whereas that song says, money, 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 money. Money. Money is important. Money gives us options, opportunities, gives us the ability to gather like this, talk, discuss, share ideas. Money is the way. Money is how we get to where we're wanting to go. You want to change the world? Do you know what you need? Money. You want to change your community? Do you know what you need? Money. So if you're in this room and you're wondering, what is make money? I'm going to share with you how to do that in a minute, but you've got to make money. There are too many of us that for some other strange reason, we've demonized success. And I don't know if it's just us, but in other parts of the world, when someone succeeds, they celebrate. But even I, not being poor, let me tell you, I have people around me who have so much money that I feel poor. I have a friend of mine, I call him a friend of mine, who has so much money that he owns things he doesn't know he owns. And the one time he went to a restaurant, it was a chain restaurant, he ordered something, he got bad service, he went online and wrote a bad review. The business media went and picked up this bad review and wrote articles about it because this guy's a billionaire. The following month he goes to a board meeting and they tell him, but how can you write a bad review of your company? He says, what do you mean it's not my company? He says, they said, yes it is, because you own this trust, which owns this investment company, which owns that trust, which is invested and owns 80% of this business. How did you not know? That's how much money he has. He has so much money, listen to this is a true story. He has so much money that his problem is how to spend it. Because if he doesn't spend it, they tax it. So he's constantly looking for ways to, as he says it, burn cash. Me, I have a savings account. Don't laugh, comrades, serious. I have a savings. And you know it's bad when, let me say it differently. You know you are in different leagues when you know what the limit on your account is. I know the limit on my account. I know once I've swiped 2-3 times, I've hit the limit. This is my limit. Doesn't mean I can't spend more, I don't have more. It just means this is the limit. I talked to this guy, limit, what limit? So why would I hang around with somebody like this? Because the minute you hang around with people like this, there's two things that happen. The first is you realize what's possible when you want to go after those things. The second is you realize there's no need to demonize success. Because even though I've just told you about how successful he is, he also has a foundation that educates like 1,000 kids a month. He contributes to the arts, he keeps artists going, he hosts concerts, he feeds poor villages all over the continent. That story isn't told, but what we do is we demonize the success. You, in this room today, right now, you have a responsibility to go out into the world and make money. So for the entrepreneurs in the room, whatever your horizon is and however far you've set it, I want you to think further, hope for more, pray for better, and then I want you to work to go get it. Go make money. So the first thing I said to you is, try to be wrong. Second thing I said to you is, surround yourself with the right people, the right team. The third thing I've said to you is, switch your mind around. You have a responsibility to go make money. Go make it. Now the fourth thing I'm going to say to you. This is the one you're not going to like. Do not come to me or anyone after this and ask them to mentor you. How many of you here were planning to go to someone and say, please mentor me? Come on, it's okay. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, people with money don't have time to mentor. I'm going to give you a little trick. If you want people who've achieved something to help you in your journey, here's how you do it. When I came up to the stage for the first time, there was that young man who was holding a frame. It had gifts written on it, and it was a portrait of me. Did you see that? Yes, that is how you get the attention of the person that you want. You figure out what value they need added in their lives, and you add that value. So you want somebody to give you attention, you want them to help you? Don't DM them on IG. I'm being facetious, got a couple of IGs like that today. Figure out the value that the person needs in their life and add that value. And by the way, everybody needs value in their lives. Everybody. There's a successful businessman here in Zambia that you admire and you look up to. You would love to spend an hour or two with him. Don't send him an email telling him I'd like to spend an hour or two with you. Go and have a look at his website. And then you realize his website is built in C++, HTML3. It's some old, outdated version. You know what you do? Invest a little bit of money, build them a new website, send them the link and say, have a look at this. I think your brand should look like this. Because the minute you do that, you add value. When you do value, you add and start a conversation. The people with the means are only looking for people who add value. Hands up again if you're a business person. Let's see the business people. Forgot where you guys are. Come on, hands up, nice and high. Where are the entrepreneurs? There we go. Right. Hands up if you're a salesperson. Let me see the salespeople. Put your hands up. Okay. Every single entrepreneur that did not put up their hands when I said hands up if you're a salesperson, there's one of two things going on. Either you are a really bad entrepreneur or you're lying. What do you think your job is? It's to sell. That's all you do. Life is about sales. You meet somebody at the club and you like them. What do? You sell. How do you sell? The first trick about selling is intonation. Intonation. Remember this because this is important. Intonation. Where you speak positions you for how the person perceives you. Let's role play this. I was preparing this for this morning and I thought you guys would enjoy this. You ever met somebody you want to ask out on a date and you meet them at the club? Yeah? Yes, it's happened to you. Don't act like it hasn't happened. For some of you, it might happen tonight. And so typically what happens at the club, right? You're typically at the club and there's like music.
What kind of music is?
And the person is right next to you. You go over. Hello! How are you? What? I said, how are you? Huh? I'm also fine. Things that happen in Africa must think. And then the second thing you say, you don't have to feel awkward. If you don't want to talk to me, that's absolutely fine. But I would love the opportunity to take you out for a cup of coffee and just get to know you better. Ladies, hands up if you are coming on the date with me. Let me see. Yep. Gents, hands up if you hate me right now. Let me see. Yeah. No. Change the environment. Change the intonation. Learn to sell. Because how do people generally do it? Hello, yes, I want to get to know you. My name is Martin. I have a Ferrari parked outside. No, you didn't. You came here with a car from Japan. No problem with Japan, but there's no Ferraris there. We're not making it. I just want to get better. Let's talk. And you know who's worse than this? The guys who are worse than this, I shouldn't say this, is the guys with the how should I say, the midsection. And then the shoes are always pointing to God. So, learn to sell. Change your intonation, change your speech. I was hoping we'd have more time, but change your intonation, change your speech. Switch the environment to the place where you can sell. Make sure it's a space and an environment that you control, and in that space and environment, address the person with some semblance of respect. You know, if you treat people with respect, 80% of the time you're going to get it back. 80% of the time. Learn to sell. For those of us who are here this evening, who join us not in their capacity as business people or as entrepreneurs, those of you still who are students, professionals, moms and dads, members of the community, here's the message that I have for you. The theme of our gathering here today is that Africa must think. In his 1958 magnum opus, the father of African literature, Chinua Achebe, writes in his book, Things Fall Apart, he says, until lions have their own historians, the story of the hunt will always glorify the hunter. I have read that quote more times than I can remember. And I think it wasn't until recently that I heard it, I understood it. Most people understood that quote to say, until lions tell their own story, the history of the hunt will glorify the hunter. That's not what our father Chinua Achebe says. He says, until lions have their own historians, the story of the hunt will glorify the hunter. Now there are some of you in this room who are the lions, who go out into the world and you conquer dreams, you start businesses and you do amazing things. These are the entrepreneurs we welcomed on stage, who've braved it out into the new world, who came up with an idea and said, I'm going to go and make it work. And whilst today we celebrate the entrepreneurs, I also want to celebrate those of you who are the historians, those who tell the moment, who understand it for what it is. The challenge of our continent has quite simply been that we have not told our own story. And until we do, the story about us is told about us, never by us. Here in Zambia. I don't think you guys understand this, so I'm going to talk to you like a young person. Yo, check it out. Around February next year, I'm going to be in this motherfucker. That's what I'm saying. You understand what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? You know, God has been good to me. I've lived an incredible life. I have seen in the days that I have been here an entrepreneurial spirit and a fever that I haven't seen anywhere else in the world. And so I would love to become an opportunity and a part of it. And so I hope you will welcome me into your country. I'm hoping to bring some capital and to invest in the next generation of entrepreneurs. I'm hoping that we can build a future. So that's the first. The second is by February next year, I'm going to be launching the VT Academy here in Zambia. Because I recognize that it takes not just money, but it also takes education, skills, and developing those of us who don't yet need the money, but need the education. We've been here today for the inspiration, but the inspiration without the education will fade. The education without the capital will frustrate you. And so what I'm hoping we can do is we can start at one place and build to the next place. And so as I leave you, let me say this. This is our moment. This is it. You and I are living the life that yours and my forefathers were dreaming of. We have the opportunity to build global businesses because for the first time in a long time, the world is listening to us. They want to hear us. I was at the Global Business Forum at the Expo in Dubai. I was the keynote speaker. Africa was on the stage.